behind this fence, there's over 10 kilometers of single track through natural oak hardwood bush. It's fantastic. People from this area come here all the time. You come here on a Sunday, there'll be dozens of cars lined up along the street with people walking their dogs, riding their bikes, having a great time. Me and my family are in here all the time. I'm not going to get into this. It's a little frustrating that the city here has overreacted and closed down this beautiful park. But when life gives you lemons, you gotta make lemonade, right? So this situation here, this chain link fence, has inspired this next video. So cue the overly dramatic intro. So it's very important if you're going to do something like this to safety is a big priority. You have to determine which river you're able to do this on. If you go up river too far, you're going to see that the water levels can fluctuate dramatically, and you can have a deep freeze and the water levels drop underneath the ice and the ice collapses underneath it like this. What I decided to do was start off my trip on the river at a canoe launch. Here I'm going down the embankment and onto the river to start my trip. I'm biking down here. The river's probably about a foot of ice here. It's crazy windy, unfortunately. So hopefully you can hear this. So I'm on my Specialized Fat Boy. I don't have any studs on the tires. You can hear the snow crunching. It's got great traction as long as I don't hit any stretches where it's just clear ice, which is coming up. So it's about minus 5, probably minus 10 with the wind chill out here. And the idea is to spend all day biking on my bike. It's loaded up, and I scoped out this area. It's a public waterway where there's some duck blinds that I'm going to spend the night in tonight. So I wanted to show how you could go on a trip and not have to go on anyone's property. So I'm not trespassing in any part of this trip. The trails that I got here on were abandoned railway trails that are turned into public trails. Taking those to this river. Now that I'm on the river, I'll be staying in a duck blind that's in the middle of the river, which is public property. And the firewood that I'm getting will be from downfall that's basically in the river. So I'll be able to get to that because of the frozen ice. So I hope you enjoy this. I hope it gives you an idea to get out, get a fat bike, get on the snow. They're great. Use your imagination and you can create any kind of trip you like. So you can see this tree right here. This is going to be my firewood for tonight. You can see the downfall. I don't have to go on anybody's property. I don't have to trespass on this trip. There's plenty of firewood that I can use just hanging over the river. Okay, here we go. It's gonna be the first night sleeping in a duck blind. This has worked out really good. This duck blind is going to be it's going to be perfect for what we need to do. We got a a southwest wind coming in, and the back of the duck blind is stopping that, so it's actually a solid back there. The opening's on the north side, so this is going to be perfect for shelter for me. Help me have a warm night. I put some thought into sleeping on the river, and I thought to myself, okay, I'm going to be sleeping on ice. I'm going to want to have a fire. How am I going to have a fire? I got the idea of maybe sleeping in a duck blind, but I still wanted to have a fire. So I thought, how am I going to have a fire in a duck blind, which most of them are made of wood, and I don't want to burn anybody's duck blind down, right? So some of my gear for this trip is a little unusual. I have a lot of camping stuff. I have a lot of camping stoves, stuff for fires, but I didn't have what I needed for this trip. So I went into my kitchen and I improvised. I got a few things here, some rope, I got my knife, I got my saw, all things I take camping normally. A little thermos with some tea. And then this is a little unusual thing. I have a wok. I've never taken a wok camping. This will be the first. And I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with it. I also have this from one of our castor oil dishes. My wife doesn't know I have it, so don't tell her. She doesn't watch these, so she won't see. And I got a plate. So I got some other stuff in here. So I'm going to go about unpacking this stuff and getting it all set up in the duck blind. For those of you who've never been in a duck blind before, you'd pull your boat up here. If you were, obviously I'm on water, so this is actually a nice one. These guys have done a good job. Duck blinds in this particular river are in public property. Well, I'm guessing this is the first and only time there's ever been a fat bike parked next to this duck blind. I think that's a pretty safe guess. There's my wok, and that's going to be my fire pit. And it's raised off the ground with the casserole holder. Woks are meant for high heat. I figured it was the perfect size, and it's got a nice handle on it so I can deal with it if I have to, the fire. And I think it's going to be perfect. I'm breathing heavy. I didn't bike that far, but I'm tired. So there's my wok. I'm in my duck blind, and gonna unpack my stuff, get my bed gear ready, and before it gets too dark, I gotta go cut some firewood. I showed you some of the places. There's a ton of downed trees that are lying in the river, so I don't have to trespass on anybody's property to get them. This right here is perfect, perfect firewood. Okay. That should help keep me warm. And I have a lot of warmer clothes. I have my my orange down marmot puffy jacket, but I'm not putting it on yet because just cutting firewood, I mean, I'm not cold at all right now. But I am going to be putting on my warmers, my toe warmers. The winter boots that I have here, they're not the warmest. I like them for biking, but when I get to the destination, seeing as I'm standing on a block of ice, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these boots off when I get back to the duck blind and put his toe warmers in, and my feet will be toasty the rest of the night. I gotta cut some more firewood. Well, I just got all the firewood cut. I've closed the door, and like I said, the wind is coming from that direction. So, all right, there's some artists that have been in this duck blind. So let me try this again. I just want to show you the duck blind without the graffiti behind me. So the wind is coming from that direction, and there's a solid plywood wall behind me. So there's zero wind coming in here. It makes a big difference. It's pretty comfortable. I got my firewood cut. It's getting later now, so I'm going to unpack the rest of my gear, get a fire going, and then warm up some dinner. Now it's time to start to get onto some warm clothes. I'm going to take this jacket off. I got my my puffy jacket here I'm going to put on, some warmer clothes, and my trusty my toe warmers. If you saw my bike packing trip, let's see here. Certainly I'll just put it here. But then the door opens up. I got my back against the door. Doesn't seem to be a nail for it, so I got to keep it closed that way. Anyways, these are grabber toe warmers. They work excellent. My toes are getting a little cold, so it's time to put those on. And for those of you who are thinking of doing sort of some outdoor trips in snow, I mean, you certainly can buy warm boots. You can buy, if you're into ice fishing, obviously you probably got warm gear. I don't really have boots that I can bike in that are warm, where you're talking -10 standing on ice warm. But I find these ones that I have, I can bike in really well. They're fairly warm, except for my toes get a little cold. So these things here, they're adhesives. I put them on top of my toe. You can put them on the bottom of your toe, but I don't like how it feels on the bottom, so I put them on top. And they got adhesive right on my sock, and the chemical reaction in them warms up whatever is in them. I really don't know, but all I can tell you is they work fantastic. I use them for all my trips when it's cold outside, and it's good to have with you. For why let cold toes ruin your trip, right? So, anyways, there's a little FYI for you. Back on, and honestly, they're warming up already, so they are fantastic. So, anyways, gotta get some warm toes going. I cannot believe the odd, strange graffiti in here. I'm gonna have to. I don't know if you see some of this stuff. Obviously, in my photo editing or video editing, I'm gonna have to learn how to blur some of this stuff out. I'll never get my video up. I have trouble enough as it is. So, okay, got the last one on here. Oh, that feels nice. Okay. I am not a very flexible person. Sitting on stools low to the ground. I'm 6'2". I'm just not meant to be sitting on the ground. So there's a little stool in here. It's not the best for me, but it'll do. Kneeling pad. This is I'll show you. I use this on all my trips. It's a Thermarest ZC, it's called. You can buy the pad version, but this one's, I don't even know, a foot by foot, I guess, or whatever. Anyways, we're gonna have a little fire going. I'm gonna put this jacket on in a minute. I got 2 sleeping bags this time around. I got, this is my gear. I have a 0 degree sleeping bag. It's I don't know what it is. I got it at Canadian Tire. It's like a combination synthetic insulation and down. It's okay. I've used it before, but I'm going to use that, and I'm going to tuck that inside my Mountain Hardwear Phantom -2 sleeping bag. And I just wanted to, I'll tell you later when I get the sleeping bags out. So I'm going to have 2 sleeping bags. It'll be probably drop down to -10 at the coldest, I think, today, so that won't be too bad. I'll have a little fire going here. I don't know how much heat I'll get from that, but it'll be nice to have it. I got lots of firewood. This is a pillow I picked up last year, Sea to Summit Arrows pillow. I'll show you this later. Pricey, it's a little expensive, but it is awesome. I mean, any pillow is awesome. I used to have, I used to just stuff my jackets or clothes in a pack and use it as a pillow, but I've got past that. I really like this. It weighs nothing, and it's super convenient. Time for a little tea. You see the steam coming out of there now. Oh, a little bit of snow just fell down my neck. That was nice. All right. Knife. going on here? Alrighty, there we go. Well, it was bound to happen. I just had a guy come by on an ATV. You can see my fat bike parked behind the duck blind. So I went and talked to him. Figured he's wondering what's going on. But I got the fire going here. It's actually really nice. This was worked out well. If the wind was coming from the other way, this probably would not have worked out very well. Because obviously there's an opening where you stand up when the ducks are coming in. And you need to, aim that way, right? But when the wind's coming at my back and the whole back end of this is all sealed up with plywood, it works out pretty well. And then the smoke, because the roof is open, the front here anyways, there's no issues with smoke, and you can hear the fire crackling. So far so good. It's just worked out pretty well. I don't have any concerns about sleeping here tonight. It's worked out pretty well. It stayed off. I got the support here keeping the walk off the ground by about 3-4 inches. So I'm not going to burn the plywood. Having a nice little fire. It's time to warm up some dinner. It's gonna be dark soon, so I want to eat before I brought a light, and yeah, I'm gonna heat up some stew and have some tea and get rolling there as soon as this fire dies down a little bit. But it's actually pretty warm. I was gonna put my coat on, but I don't even think I really need to right now. I'm gonna save it till later. It's always nice to have another layer to put on when you start to get cold, a little bit later on, but by that time I'll be getting my sleep bag probably. So the fire will be there, and I'm going to sleep. That's my sleeping bag and everything else. So I'm going to sleep in this section right here. Get up in the morning, have some oatmeal, hit the road, and that'll be it. I have some more firewood cut up outside, so should be pretty good shape. Okay, well, it's time to warm up my stew over the fire, and I've just realized that I'll be eating it with my knife. I don't have a spoon or a fork or a spork or anything for that matter, so I have to eat it with this or eat it. This is not going to be good. So that wasn't part of the plan. Don't not underestimate how much planning is involved in this simple little trip like this. So yeah, it's kind of disappointing, but we'll figure it out. This is why I brought leather gloves. I'm going to just throw this over the coals. So, that's everything. And you're wondering why there's a water bottle under there. My water bottle got a little frozen, so I'm trying to defrost that. I can't believe I forgot a spoon, really. I had it out, but I don't know where it is. Darn. The only thing worse than losing your spoon or forgetting it is eating your dinner and then finding it after. But I did find it before I ate, so I'm pretty excited about that. Anyways, just thought I'd share that with you. Just saying. Pretty excited that I found it because I was just getting ready to eat my dinner. Okay, I can hear it bubbling. I gotta start. I think my stew's just about warmed up. Ooh. Whoa. Yes, that's hot. Ooh. Wow. Usually my leather gloves are pretty good about keeping the heat off, but that is really warm. Some bread in there. Just let the steam warm up the bread. Oh. Well, it's sun is setting. That's good. As soon as I'm done my dinner, I'm going to clear out a space here on the floor, throw my mat down, throw my sleeping bags in, and probably prepare, get the firewood a little more organized. And that'll be that. I don't know how good my camera, I have a new camera, which I'm pretty excited about. I'm almost embarrassed to say I film my videos on my iPhone 7 Plus, which takes decent video, so I'm filming it on now. But in the new year, I got a camera on order, which I'm excited about. I'm jumping up to a Sony a7R Mark III, which I have no business having. It's a pro camera. It's phenomenal. I have a lot to learn, but I also want to make good quality videos, so my iPhone's not really cutting it. So having said that, in 2018, yeah, my tools are going to be I have my Mavic Pro drone that I plan on taking on a lot of my trips. I have my new Sony camera. So the quality of my videos hopefully will improve. I'm still me, but at least me stumbling over my words will be clear resolution. It's a beautiful night. Actually, it'd be kind of nice to watch some ducks fly in here. You see, waking up here in sunrise would be pretty nice during the season. Not really supposed to eat the bay leaves. They're just for taste. All right, it's getting dark. I just wanted to show you my pillow. That's out of here a little bit. It's from Sea to Summit. Blows up very easy. Super comfy. Okay, I'm going to try to show you my sleep bag system here. Bear with me. It's getting dark, so this camera is not the best in low light. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. Fire's going there, and sleeping bags are going to go here. There's my pillow. So what I was talking about, this sleeping bag here, the blue one, is my old one. It's a 0 degrees Celsius sleeping bag, and I've got it tucked into my Mountain Hardwear Phantom. This red sleeping bag is awesome. It is, there you go. So it's a Phantom Spark, -2 Celsius, and it's 850 down. And why that's important, or why that's, I should bring it up. 850 down is very light, very compressible, But if I put my red sleeping bag inside the other one's synthetic insulation, and it's more prone to compress the down, the 850, and then it'll actually take away from the warmth of my down sleeping bag. So that's why I'm putting it on the outside. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's why. That'll be my setup. It's getting pretty dark, so I'm not gonna be able to film too much more, I guess. We'll see. But fire going there, and that's where I'll be sleeping. Okay, well, got my light going. A little tea set up here. Okay, well, this is going to end my first day bike packing down a frozen river. It's been kind of cool. It's if you really want to get bike packing and there's in the wintertime and you want to make a trip of it, it's one thing to fat bike on local trails and do some single track that way. But if you actually want to get out, a little bit of an adventure and backpack, stay overnight somewhere, there's not a lot of places to go. So I think this is kind of a different idea. It's kind of cool. It's been kind of fun. And this is going to wrap up the first night. But it's getting dark out. I'm going to crawl in my sleeping bag. That's it. We'll see you in the morning. Well, the walk turned out pretty good. It's been a good fire pit. Hasn't caught the floor on fire. It's dark. And it's just enough warmth to, as I lie here next to it sleeping, it's kind of a nice feeling having it going there. It'll probably burn out, but I got more wood to have a fire in the morning. So I didn't sleep the best last night. I had my water bottles in my sleeping bag, so that didn't help. And this morning, I'm just gonna have some water and a power bar and get rolling. It's been fun, a little tired. It's pretty cold this morning, so we're gonna just leave it at that. And I hope you enjoyed watching. I hope you got something out of this video, and another one in the books. Hey guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I've had a lot of questions on my bike packing gear and people asking me about the packs and what I bring and that sort of stuff. So I wanted to cover some of the packs that I use and explain a little bit about my bike and how they go and that sort of thing. So we'll just go from there. First off, my bike is it's a Specialized Fat Boy. It is a kind of a mid-range model, so it's nothing. It's aluminum frame. They come with a carbon fork. The group set on it is a SRAM mix. Derailleur is a SRAM X7, which is for SRAM kind of mid-level, lower level, but I gotta say it works fine. Biggest thing with a fat bike, I think that can affect the performance, is ditching the tubes. I covered that in one of my videos. 2 fat bike tubes. These are 4.6-inch wide tires, so the tubes are very bulky and heavy. 2 tubes almost weigh about almost 3 pounds. So if you can get rid of the tubes, take it to your bike shop if you can't do it yourself, and you can make it tubeless, and that'll improve the performance dramatically for really little expense. So when I go on my trips, if you watched my bike packing trips, you watched this one. Another bike packing trip that I've done, and I'll put a link in the video here, is the Central Ontario Loop Trail, almost 500 kilometers through Ontario wilderness, 7 days, me and 2 of my friends. This is exactly the gear that we brought, and I'll go and show you basically the four different bags that I brought on that trip and all my bike packing trips. Now granted, when you talk about bike packing, there's different definitions about it. When I talk about bike packing with my fat bike, it's not technical single trail that I'm talking about. It's more gravel roads, frozen river, ATV trails. The panniers that I'm about to show you are not something you'd want to have on your bike if you're doing any sort of single track. That's very technical. So that's something to consider as well, okay?
I have two different models. I mean, the gear that I buy, my philosophy is I usually research and I just buy what I feel is the best gear for what I need. No real company specific. Ultimately, I chose two different companies to go with. Ortlieb is the panniers, and Revelate Designs are the handlebar and seat post bags that I use. So first I'll talk about the panniers. Ortlieb is I believe it's a German company. They are pretty well known for producing bike packing gear. This here is the basically their classic rear pannier. Obviously they come in pairs. Each pannier carries, the volume is 20 liters, so a pair of them will give you 40 liters of storage. And what I like about these is they're completely waterproof and they're very durable. And when you read them and the reviews are really good, but I can tell you firsthand that these have been very durable. I'm not exactly easy on my gear. It's not something that I'm proud of, but it's just a fact that I have a tendency to be rough with my stuff. So I don't know if you can see on the outer material here, there's a few scratches. If you watch the bike packing trip, we would just lay our bikes on the side on an ATV trail, which is gravel road and rough rock and everything else. So I dumped my bike, lean over on the side, and this is the first thing to hit the ground. And I have to say that the material's held up really well. There's a few minor scratches, but you can tell it's durable material. So like I said, it's completely waterproof. This is the back. The handle goes like this, and this just jumps on here. I'll show you that in a minute. I had read in some of the reviews that like this is plastic and maybe a little flimsy, but my experience has been it's been very durable and no issues at all. When it's on the bike, it's rock solid. It doesn't bounce around. Like I said, if you watch the video, we went over some really rough trails for extended periods of time, and I did not have any problems with these bouncing around or being insecure at all. They were locked on pretty good. So to give you an idea, and they come off on and off really nice too. So basically, you take this on here, and the other one there. You want it off. So it's locked on. It's locked on just like that. If I wanted to take it off, it's really as easy as that. And it's classic like any other dry bag. Like any other dry bag, it just folds over, and in you go. There's a sleeve in here for smaller things, but it's basically just an open storage bag, open dry bag. And again, the bottom has a little more rugged material here. It's got a hard plastic frame guard here, I guess you'd call that. But reflectors in the front, reflector spot in the back. But overall, these were fantastic. So again, you could, the limit on these is 20 liters. That's what the specs on it say that it can carry. But keep in mind, depending on what you're doing, it's 20 liters with this folded over 3 different times, because for this to be waterproof, like any dry bag, you need to fold it once, twice, and generally 3 times. Over you go. So like that is 20 liters of storage. But keep in mind, if you're in a pinch, nothing says you have to fold it over that many times, and you can get by with just kind of folding it over once. Or I guess what I'm trying to say is I've had a lot more than 20 liters worth of gear here, so it's pretty flexible that way. So I've been very happy with these. I would get them again for what that's worth. So if that helps you, so it's the Ortlieb classic rear panniers, and you can get these online. You can get them at REI. They're available in lots of different places. So yeah, pretty good. Okay, now we'll get into the Revelate here. This is Revelate Designs, and it's a handlebar bag that they refer to, they call it their sweet roll. It comes in 3 different sizes, small, medium, and large. The medium is their most popular one. This is the medium that I got. The volume on this is about 14 liters. And again, I've had a lot of gear in here. Like anything else, it's typical dry bag where you fold it over. I've had it folded over once on the Colt trip, and just loaded up with gear when we started. So I had no problems with it being filled up to the max. All the qualities, all the straps on it are very high quality. I did not have any problem with it staying on my handlebars, moving around, shifting around. It stayed on the handlebars really well. So like anything else, depends on what you're doing. If you're gonna have a handlebar bag, if you're doing single track and technical trails, you don't want it to be too heavy. The bike packing that I do with this fat bike, I don't find that I need to have very quick steering doing technical trails. So I found that I could load up the handlebar bag pretty heavy. I would put my heavy gear in here, food, you know, just heavy objects, whatever I could cram in here, and I had no problem with controlling my bike at all. And also, it has this extra kind of flap here, where you know it's got lots of little hooks here. You can strap different gear on, which I found was handy. I would stick my tripod through here. I would have my GoPro tucked in here, my camera, just lots of little things during the trip that I found I could just hook onto. If you had little carabiners, you could put them on here and have stuff hanging. You don't want too much stuff hanging from there. But for me, having my tripod tucked in there, it was pretty good at times. And my GoPro for some of those trips and some of the scenes you saw, I would just be able to grab the GoPro and film a little bit there. So that worked out really well. So yeah, this is the handlebar bag. It's Revelate Designs. Very good quality. Been happy with it, and I would get this again. So there you go. And this is what they call a seat bag, or goes on the seat post. This is a Revelate Designs Terrapin. Terrapin's the model. I would have to say this is my favorite. I have to say this is my favorite piece of gear that I've got for bike packing. And what I mean by that is that it works great on my fat bike. Now keep in mind, if you get one of these and you have panniers, be advised that you have to have enough clearance on your seat to be able to fit this underneath there. You have to have enough clearance between here and here. I'm 6'2", on a large frame. I could even probably go with an extra large frame. So my seat post is up plenty high enough for me to get this secured, because this goes around, this here goes around the seat post. These go around the rails of the underneath the seat and clip on, and that's how it hangs. So basically sits there like that. I guess I should show you how to install it. Okay, I just put it on there just to show you quickly. I didn't bother putting these through the seat rails. But basically you need to know that you need to clear your metal rack for your panniers and have enough storage space to be able to put that through there. What I love about this bag, the Terrapin bag, is that I can use it on my full suspension pivot. I ride that to work most of the time. And this capacity here in this bag is also about 14 liters. So what I love about it is I can throw my change of clothes or lunch in there. If you're going to have heavy gear, putting it on your seat post bag is the best spot for it. It affects the bike, the performance of the bike the least. And it's rock solid, doesn't sway. It sticks out quite a bit. You would think that it would be awkward and affect the bike, the feel of the bike, but it really doesn't. It doesn't sag. Like I said, I don't have this hooked up, just to show you quickly. But this is clipped up here. It doesn't sag at all. There's a support right here that keeps the dry bag in. So it's an excellent setup. By far, if you got one thing you'd have to get, I would say get this one. Also, what I love about it is, click this off. So it's really two pieces. So you have the dry bag that comes out on its own. So this is the supportive frame, and this is the dry bag. And what I love about this dry bag is it has a two-way valve, or one-way valve. Anyways, you open it up, and you want to squeeze out the air. You can hear the air come out. Tighten up the valve, and so basically like a compression sack that with a one-way valve. So this in itself, a 14-liter dry bag, even when I'm not bike packing, I take this canoe trips and everything else. It's a very handy bag, good quality, it's durable. So, I mean, just getting this with the valve is a nice thing to have. So again, so you have 14 liters. You can load this up with a ton of gear. It fits in here nice. On the seat post, very solid. You can use it on full suspension bikes. The handlebar bag and this would be plenty of storage in the summertime to do a trip if I wanted to take my full suspension mountain bike. You can also get into frame bags. On my trip I had a third water bottle, so I really had 3 water bottles on the frame of my bike. I just never felt a frame bag was necessary. With all the gear here, with the panniers and these two bags here, you're almost at 70 liters of storage. So that's quite a bit of storage for a bike packing trip. If you're just going over a weekend, there's no reason why you need any more gear than almost 70 liters worth of stuff. And throw in a hydration pack if you really want to carry something. When it's hot, I really don't like having a hydration pack on if I can avoid it. So with all this gear, with all this storage, it was really nice we didn't need to carry packs on our trips. And one last thing I also wanted to cover the pedals, since we're talking about bike packing. I've got my clipless pedals back on. For my fat bike, these are Shimano XT pedals. So anyways, on my fat bike, I have flats and I also have my clipless pedals. For my winter trip, I use the flats so I could have warm winter boots. Summertime or milder weather, I'll put the clipless pedals back on. I do prefer clipless, but when it's really cold, I haven't upgraded these. These were what I considered warm weather boots at one time. You can see how the bottoms. This is what clipless pedal shoes look like. But these were not that warm. I needed to upgrade them a little bit. So probably in the future, I'll probably buy a warmer pair. Specialized has a pair of boots called the Frosters, but I mean, a bunch of different companies make warm winter boots now. They're becoming more popular. So I'll probably in the future go with just keeping clipless on, but a couple trips that I've done here has been really cold, so I've been just using some warm winter boots with flats, and that's worked out well too. The nice advantage of that is when you get to where you are, you know the boots are a little more comfortable to walk around in. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you got some information out of it. I hope you've been inspired to get out there and do different things, change it up a little bit. To my friends, raised their eyebrows when I told them the idea about camping in a duck blind, but I have a lot of fun with this. Not afraid to do different things and change things up a little bit. So I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and click that like button. It's really important that YouTube knows what people are liking, what they're not liking. So if you really enjoyed this, please hit the like button and stay tuned for more videos. Thanks for watching.